Get ahead in chess with a third knight. When playing as black, follow white's pawn to d4 with your pawn to d5. If white goes pawn to c4, take your pawn to e5 for the Albin counter gambit. White takes your pawn, and you advance your pawn to d4. White responds with pawn to e4, and you take your bishop to b4 for check. White most likely will block with their bishop. Sacrifice your bishop by capturing their pawn with yours. If white takes your bishop, you have them. Capture their pawn at f2 for check. If the king takes the pawn, you get their queen. So, they are left moving their king to e2. Your pawn captures their knight, and you promote your pawn to a knight, immediately putting white in check. If white takes your knight with their rook, your bishop to g4 will capture their queen. And if white moves their king away from their queen, then you can get their queen with your queen. So, white must move their king back to e1. Take your queen out to h4 for check. If white moves their pawn to g3, then you take your queen to e4 for check. Then you get their rook. So, white must move their king to d2. Take your knight out to c6 to threaten the bishop. White is now in a really tough spot, and you have a very strong presence on the board. Not to mention, you have 3 knights. This is called the Lasker Trap.